At number 10, Justin Bieber. You never know where you're going to meet your next crush. A lot of the time we come across people online who we think are cute and want to shoot our shot. Well, this happened with Justin Bieber in kind of a weird way. It started with nutrition and fitness coach Jessica Gober and her suggestion that the gym she worked for start posting on their Instagram more to get some more traction to their business. Well, Jessie's suggestion worked very well, but instead of attracting business, she attracted love. The gym posted a boomerang of Jessie holding an energy drink, and somehow this post was circulated around enough that it caught the attention of Justin Bieber. Since Jessica wasn't tagged in the post, Justin actually ended up DMing the gym's account asking who the girl in the post was. Jessica found out about this and posted screenshots of the message to her Twitter. Some people came for her saying that she could have become something special to Justin, but she clapped back by posting pictures of her boyfriend saying, quote, "I've got everything I need right here." Unfortunately, Justin didn't get what he was hoping for, but at least he tried. At number 9, Nikita Dragun. Even though we are still caught in the midst of a global pandemic, it is still advised for people to wear masks, social distance, and some people still break these rules. This is the case with beauty YouTuber Nikita Dragun, as she was caught and exposed for going maskless in an elevator while she was in Miami for a New Year's Eve party last year. The influencer was exposed on TikTok, where fans posted a video of their encounter with her. The fans asked for a photo with her before she was caught, saying that people would get mad at her for not wearing a mask. Well, they did, and she was dragged for it. Lately, so many celebrities have been getting dragged for not being good role models for their fans during this time, and Nikita was one of them. So not only did she get exposed for attending a party during a pandemic, but also for not wearing a mask. This all went down in Florida, and though there are no rules in place, it is still advised to wear your mask for your safety and for the protection of others. Before we carry on talking about celebrities who have been exposed by their own fans, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, David Dobrik. YouTuber and former Viner David Dobrik got caught in a massive scandal on the platform that pretty much destroyed his career last year. He was once considered by many as one of YouTube's clean YouTubers, someone who doesn't really have much drama on the platform, but last year all of that changed. He was really popular on the platform, having gained over 9 million subscribers, and he's had some success in showbiz as well, as he's been cast as a judge and host on a few game shows as well. However, last year David's popularity fell and his praise turned into scrutiny as people started to come forward with allegations against David. Former members of David's YouTube friend group called the Vlog Squad came forward, calling David out for bullying and creating a toxic environment, as well as orchestrating pranks that resulted in one friend getting hurt, and a former fan came forward naming a Vlog Squad member as the person who hurt them while they were under the influence, and also exposed David for filming that part of what happened. Last year he lost a lot of sponsors as well as a company that he recently started. At number 7, Butch Hartman. The artist, known for creating popular Nickelodeon shows like Fairly Odd Parents, Tough Puppy, and Danny Phantom, was exposed last year after Twitter users accused him of plagiarism. Butch Hartman, known for his unique cartoon drawings, had been doing commission drawings for fans for the last little while, and when completed, sometimes he would post some of them on social media to show off what he was creating. This was his way of promoting his commission services, but last year, one of his commission posts was used to expose the artist for plagiarism. One fan noticed that one of the drawings that he did of a character from the anime Attack on Titan looked a little too familiar until they realized that Butch had plagiarized this drawing. Butch profited off the stolen artwork of another artist and sold this piece for a hefty price. The commission pieces that Butch does sells for upwards of $200, so to find out that someone is profiting so much off stolen work is a huge no-no. This scandal exposed even more dirt on Butch, as it was revealed that this wasn't the first time that Butch has been caught copying other art for commissions. Now that he's been exposed, Butch's credibility as an artist took a very big hit, and it's not looking good for him. At number 6, James Franco. Back in 2014, actor James Franco tried sliding into a fan's DMs only to find out that she was actually 17 years old. When their DM conversation was leaked, people honestly thought it was fake, but it turns out that it was 100% real, and James even owned up to his actions. All of this happened when James met a girl visiting New York City as an early 18th birthday present. James met her at an autograph signing outside one of his Broadway performances. The two took pictures together and she tagged him, which obviously led him to finding her her Instagram and DMing her. The two talked for a bit, and the fan even asked to see his ID to make sure that it was really him. After their conversation continued, James asked for her number, her age and relationship status, and whether or not he should have booked a hotel room for the both of them. Nothing ever ended up happening between them, but the fan ended up exposing their conversation online, and James faced mild backlash after he admitted to his mistakes. But after he admitted to his mistakes, he walked away from the situation still pretty much intact. At number 5, Lil Nas X. Rapper Lil Nas X was in the news a lot last year because of the backlash he was facing from his music video for his song Montero, as well as his quote, devil shoes. A lot of people had been criticizing him for his use of satanic imagery, saying that his content was inappropriate. Well, on the other side of this drama, Lil Nas X was exposed for his content, but not because of his imagery for being offensive to people, but for having been copied from another artist. A Twitter user shared a side-by-side comparison of Nas's Montero music video to FKA Twigs' video for her song Cellophane. Both had similar imagery of heaven and hell, as well as the artist sliding down and dancing on a pole, and so he faced backlash for having copied Twigs. Lil Nas X addressed the controversy on his social media, issuing an apology to those affected, saying that he wasn't aware of the similarities and that he has nothing but love and respect for FKA Twigs. The two artists made up and acknowledged everyone involved in the making of both Montero and Cellophane music videos, but Nas's exposure was just another setback that he had to deal with involving this content. At number 4, Drake. Drake doesn't seem to have the best luck when it comes to the ladies. He's been rejected by Nicki Minaj on multiple occasions. He briefly dated Rihanna, but that didn't work out, and he's been on the losing side of love for a while. Drake even tried DMing Mia Khalifa back in 2015, and that didn't really take off either, and she thought it was kind of cringy actually. Mia dished about what went down in the DMs while being interviewed by CBS Miami 560, and during the interview she was asked if any famous people had ever tried sliding into her DMs, and though she didn't give an actual name, she did say that the person's name rhymes with rake. Not that subtle. She later said that he sent her a half-naked picture and knew that, quote, his intentions were clear. I'm assuming that they never actually spoke to each other until this point, so I'm really wondering what compelled him to drop this picture on her. I'm not the most knowledgeable on this kind of topic simply because no one's out here sliding in my DMs, but for those who are familiar with unsolicited pic DMs, please tell me why this is a thing. Like, shouldn't you have just a little bit of conversation before this? Let me know. At number 3, Anthony Mackie. Marvel actor Anthony Mackie, known for his role as a Falcon in the MCU, faced some internet backlash last year after an old video had resurfaced. The video in question was a clip from an old Wendy Williams interview where he was heard making sexist remarks, saying that a woman's role was to, quote, make daddy a sandwich. During the interview, Anthony and Wendy were having a conversation about gender roles in a relationship, and Anthony's responses were exposed. Anthony also went on to defend this mentality of women serving their partners, giving an example saying, quote, so you better believe it. So you make daddy a sandwich. If I'm outside cutting the grass, bring daddy some lemonade. It's hot outside and I'm cutting all this grass. End quote. A lot of fans were taken aback by the actor's comments, calling them sexist and misogynistic, and resulted in canceling the actor on social media. This cancellation didn't really stick, as he since bounced back with the popularity coming from the Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but people still exposed him, and he still faced quite a bit of backlash because of it. At number 2, Coldplay. Last year, the music group Coldplay was exposed and caught under fire after Lady Gaga fans alleged that the band stole their new album concept from their mother Monster. This comes after Coldplay announced their new era of music and the release of their song Higher Power. Their new theme is very neon, featuring the colors blue, pink, and purple, and they're seemingly calling it Chaotica. This sounds cool, but not very creative, as Lady Gaga fans were quick to point out the similarities between Chaotica and Gaga's 2020 album Chromatica. This album featured a very similar neon color palette and a pretty similar name. Fans have said that these artists' album aesthetics are too similar to be a coincidence. Both Chaotica and Chromatica are essentially the artists' respective names for their own made-up planets that their albums are based on, so these similarities have fans feeling a little strange. What do you guys think? Is it a ripoff or a coincidence? And finally, at number 1, James Charles. James has been finding himself in a number of scandals over the past few years, seemingly facing new drama every few months. Though in the past there's been petty drama like that between James, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, and Tati Westbrook, recently James's number 1 scandals have been about his inappropriate contact with fans, specifically those under the age of 18. Recently, James has been hit with lots of backlash after it was discovered that he solicited private photos from fans who turned out to be under the age of 18. James was exposed by a fan on social media where they showed off their messages and photos sent to each other over the period of time that they had been talking. This happened in late February last year, but a similar event happened just a few weeks prior to this incident, after another young man came forward exposing James and recounting how he and James had been having explicit conversations on Snapchat. These allegations are similar to others that he's faced in the past, so people are really starting to get angry with James, and the fact that he seems to walk away from these scandals all the time.
In at number 10, Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase is without a doubt a legendary comedic actor, but all of those pratfalls that he did in his youth must have really turned him into a grumpy old man. He has certainly earned himself perhaps the worst reputation in Hollywood from being just extremely difficult to work with. When it works, but most of the time he is a huge pain in the you-know-what. When actor and comedian Rob Huebel met Chevy at the Upright Citizens Brigade show, he was so excited that he accidentally interrupted a conversation that Chevy was in. Rob was a longtime fan and just couldn't contain his joy, but Chevy responded by slapping him in the face and then said, "Can't you see I'm talking to somebody, kid?"
Chevy just hauled off and slapped me across the face so hard. I mean, it was like I saw red.
In at number 9, Ariana Grande. Back in 2014, a man named Dan O'Connor and his daughters Jen and Kelly had actually won a contest sponsored by MTV, VH1, and Pepsi to meet Ariana Grande. The contest was advertised as Pepsi, MTV, and VH1 are giving you the chance to win an amazing trip to Los Angeles to hang with Ariana and watch her perform live at this year's MTV Video Music Awards. Dan wrote about the entire experience in his blog, and one big thing that I noticed was how much Ariana had changed in the period of just 3 years. Apparently he and his daughters had actually met Ariana back in 2011 when she had fame from her Nickelodeon show but still had not peaked into the pop star that we know her as today. Dan described her as the nicest celebrity that he had ever met and displayed so much patience to take photos with his daughters. Unfortunately, this time around it was a disaster. His daughters had to find their own transportation, they were not allowed entry when they arrived, then they waited several hours after the agreed upon time to meet Ariana, and when she finally came out to see them, it got worse. She spent 15 seconds, maybe, with each contestant winner, took an approved photo after asking them to delete the first few, and then she just left. In at number 8, Michael Jordan. Best known in Hollywood for his starring role in Space Jam, and a lot of people still love Michael Jordan for his basketball skills, one of his biggest fans was the rapper Chamillionaire, who actually ran into MJ at a party after a charity auction. However, when he approached Jordan for a photo, he said that this NBA legend completely shot him down. In fact, to be more specific, and according to Chamillionaire, Jordan said, "I ain't taking pictures with no N-word." Then when the rapper tried to explain that he was a huge fan and had just purchased a $7,000 commemorative Michael Jordan jersey, Michael just responded with, "I'll tell you what, you pay me $15,000 right now for a jersey from me, and I'll take the picture with you." What a terrible attitude. In at number 7, Christina Aguilera. Some people may not remember this, but back in 2011, Christina Aguilera was judging on The Voice and for whatever reason could not contain herself. She asked country singer Patrick Thomas, who was 20 at the time, to take his pants off 3 times. Apparently she doesn't get any better when her fans are famous either. Actress Valerie Bertinelli said that she once approached Aguilera to say that she thought she was a beautiful singer, to which Christina paid no attention to and replied with, "Yeah, whatever." And to make matters worse, she completely trashed Lady Gaga back in 2008. As reported by the LA Times, she was asked about the allegations of her stealing Gaga's image while promoting Bionic. In response, she said, "You know, that's funny that you mentioned that. This person was just brought to my attention not too long ago. I'm not quite sure who this person is, to be honest. I don't know if it is a man or a woman, I just wasn't sure. I really don't spend any time on the internet, so I guess I live a little under a rock in that respect." A little bit, Christina. Just a tad. In number 6, Sean Penn. Sean Penn is no stranger to letting his true colors shine bright. In 2009, he assaulted a paparazzi and vandalized his car. He once served 60 days in jail for punching a background actor and had to do 300 hours of community service for kicking another photographer. Then in 2013, while he was at a restaurant in a swanky San Francisco hotel, he witnessed a guy trying to just snap a photo. Must be a fan, and he just freaked out when he saw it. Is Sean Penn secretly a vampire that doesn't want his soul removed from taking photos? Like, I don't understand why he gets so angry, and I'll tell you why this is such a big deal. I understand how this could become very annoying after a while, but it still doesn't excuse this kind of disruptive behavior. According to TMZ, he walked over and slammed the man's phone on the table before telling him that he was going to make him eat his phone. Then as he was being escorted out of the restaurant, he yelled to the entire restaurant, "Do we look like zoo animals?" I mean, That is the definition of the word yikes, folks. In number 5, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz has built up a nasty reputation of being notoriously reluctant to sign autographs, and she has said that she is against interacting with her fans at all. During the premiere of the movie Sex Tape in 2014, witnesses in attendance told Radar Online that the actress could not have been less interested in the fans. The weird thing was that the premiere was meant for the fans. It's not like these people followed her into a restaurant. She was scheduled to appear. Fans showed up early, waited outside for a glimpse, and then right when she was spotted by the fans, she outright refused autographs and told them, "If I did it for you, I'd have to do it for everyone." The fan that reported this info said Cameron was as unfriendly as can be, and it was really disappointing. There were literally only 4 or 5 fans waiting and asking for them when they left. It was not a huge crowd and would have taken them less time to sign an autograph or take a picture rather than giving a lecture about not doing it. Very true. In number 4, Tommy Lee. This is an interesting one because Tommy Lee kind of exposed himself for being an absolute nightmare, but it was his fans that provoked him to rant about not wanting to take photos with his fans. In an open letter posted to the band's Facebook page in June of 2012, Tommy said, "I f***ing love my fans, and you know this. If you asked anyone that knows me really well, they would tell you the same thing. Tommy loves his fans. He lives for this shit. He eats, breathes music 24/7. They'll also probably tell you that he's a down-to-earth, grateful, life-loving dude and a nice guy too. What I have a problem with is taking pictures. I hate it. Irritates the f*** out of me when people say, you owe it to your fans, they put you where you are, etc, etc. I certainly don't owe anybody anything. When I bought all my Led Zeppelin records and concert tickets, I didn't say, one day these f***ers are gonna owe me a picture. It's the least they can do for me. WTF, people, you don't admire something so that it can give back, you just cherish it. And to those who say, you should be grateful that people want to take your picture, maybe one day they won't want it. That day can't come soon enough. By the way, I'm not here to take pictures with you, I'm here to entertain you. I mean, it sounds like Tommy Lee just needs to take a nap, right? That just sounds like somebody who needs a nap. Just a quick power nap. And then that Facebook post would have never happened. In number 3, Martha Stewart. Reddit is always a nice place to read about honest accounts of meeting celebrities, and a user named Grateful Stickers posted this story and said, after waiting in line, my mother was refused an extra autograph, and she also wouldn't make out the one promised autograph to anyone but the person who was getting it. Even after explaining it was for her son, Martha refused. I could maybe understand if it was after signing 5,000 autographs or even 500, but it was a small event. That's only a small part of her being a At the very end of the event, as people were leaving, Martha Stewart was overheard talking to her mother, who happened to be with her. Martha's mom said, "What should we do with all these floral arrangements?" To which Martha replied, "We take them or throw them out. These common people don't deserve them, far too expensive, and they wouldn't appreciate their beauty." Yep, she said common people. Oh, Martha Stewart. In at number 2, Stephen Morrissey. A few years before the Smiths became a band, Morrissey sent a very nasty message in response to a fan's ad in Sounds magazine in 1980. See, a man named Robert Mackie from Scotland had submitted a letter to Morrissey. The 21-year-old star then replied with his own letter that said, "Dear Pearson, so nice to know there's another soul out there, even if it is Glasgow. Does being Scottish bother you? Manchester is a lovely little place if you happen to be a bedridden deaf mute. I'm unhappy, hope you're unhappy too. In poverty, Stephen." Look, this is just a prime example of what I have said on this channel many times. When you recognize your own pain, you can see it more clearly in others. The fact that Morrissey says, "I'm unhappy, hope you're unhappy too," just makes it as clear as day that he was absolutely miserable, and that's why this poor fan got a miserable response. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Justin Bieber.
I got the goddamn way, man. Damn.
Yes, that was Justin Bieber running over a photographer in his exotic car, showing zero regard for human life. On top of that heinous video, the star has also been known to spit on people he doesn't like, which sometimes includes his own fans. While at a hotel in Toronto with some friends, Justin took to his balcony where hundreds of people were desperately waiting outside to see a glimpse of the star, although he only emerged to hawk a loogie down towards them. After the disgusting act, the star seemed to be pleased with himself, turning to his group of admiring friends to laugh even. His impressed friends then joined in as they all crowded around and took a selfie on his phone just to remember the occasion, I guess.
Starting off this countdown, we have Tobey Maguire. Haven't heard much about him lately, I wonder what he's up to. But anyways, back in 2008, Tobey was in Paris headed back to his hotel when a fan walking beside him held out his camera to take a photo with Tobey. Well, he did not like this because he ended up slapping the camera right out of his fan's hand. Thankfully, a different fan got it on tape. First off,
that's just rude. Second, that's so embarrassing for the fan. Now, I understand that celebrities are constantly being followed by the paparazzi or fans, so maybe he was just agitated, or maybe he needed to get back to his hotel ASAP. Like maybe he was just tired, or he needed to, go to the bathroom. Who knows? But there are better ways he could have handled this. Slapping a fan's camera to the ground is not one of them. In our 9th spot, we have Lea Michele. If you have seen my previous video, then you know just how rude Lea Michele can be. Earlier this year, a former Glee cast member exposed Lea Michele for being rude to her, and then several other people came forward with similar bad experiences with Lea. Even fans came forward saying that when they met her, she acted disrespectful towards them. A fan tweeted, and I quote, "I met Lea Michele once and I told her that I was such a huge fan. And I was obviously pretty flamboyant at the time because I was excited, and she responded, 'Yeah, all the gays watch our show, nothing special,' and then walked away. I was literally so confused, but I'm so glad people are waking up to how rude she is." Are you kidding me? How could she be that rude to her fans? I just don't get it. In our 8th spot, we have Rachel Ray. On television, Rachel Ray is bubbly and seems like a warm and friendly person. But according to a number of fans, she is quite the opposite. One fan attending a taping of her cooking show said that during the taping, Rachel would be rude to her staff, was annoyed with the audience, and was acting ungrateful. Another fan stayed outside of the filming location for the show waiting for Rachel to come out. According to the fan, and I quote, "When Rachel came out to greet the audience, she was cold, even seemingly annoyed that she had to do the show. She complained, she rolled her eyes, and was not at all the perky, spunky personality we've come to know on her show." There you have it, exposed. In our 7th spot, we have Jerry Seinfeld. What's up with that? I swear, this has to be one of the most embarrassing and awkward celebrity moments, maybe of all time. So back in 2017, Jerry Seinfeld was being interviewed on the red carpet for a Night of Laughter and Song event. During the interview, superfan Kesha comes up to Jerry, introduces herself quickly, and then says, "Can I give you a hug?" In which he shuts her down. But Kesha is really persistent. She goes, "Please, just a little one," each time shutting her down. She then walks away heartbroken. I mean, this dude was the star of the Bee Movie. I'd want a hug too. I'm just kidding. I know, Seinfeld. Anyway, after she walks away, Jerry and the interviewer awkwardly laugh. I just cringed so much watching it. I mean, he wasn't necessarily rude about it, but just the whole encounter was really uncomfortable. In our 6th spot, we have Chevy Chase, who apparently has a bad reputation on sets. It's been said that he is difficult to work with and disrespectful to his co-workers. So it's not that shocking that he's also rude to his fans. In fact, he slapped one of his fans super hard when he first met them. The fan in question being actor and comedian Rob Hubel. He was so excited to meet Chevy, but he ended up slapping him so hard that he said he saw red. He then tried to make a joke out of it, saying, "Can't you see I'm talking to somebody, kid?" Now, some people have defended him, saying like, "Oh, he's just joking around," and Rob hasn't looked too much into it. But others find that extremely wild. Like, imagine that, slapping a dude you don't even know right across the face and then being like, "Haha, just kidding, got ya." We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Avril Lavigne. I absolutely love Avril. Like, I was a huge fan growing up. It's safe to say that my whole tomboy skater phase was thanks to her. Anyways, fans in Brazil were super disappointed after going to Avril's meet and greet in 2014. According to the fans, who paid $400 to meet Avril, they weren't allowed to hug or touch her, and they had to literally stand a good distance away from her. So all the photos from that event look super awkward. Like, they're smiling beside Avril, who's 6 feet apart from them. I mean, good job practicing social distancing before COVID, but yeah, they couldn't hug her or even high-five her. Now, Avril does suffer from Lyme disease, so I'm wondering if she did this because she has a weakened immune system and didn't want to take any chances catching anything. I really don't know, but I can't imagine paying that much to meet a celebrity and not even being able to hug them. In our 4th spot, we have Rami Malek. First off, he's an amazing actor, so props to him. But there is one very, very awkward fan encounter. I'm like 99.9% sure that you all know what I'm talking about and have seen this video. I mean, it went viral after a fan posted it on Twitter. In this video, a fan asks Malek if he could say hi to her friends. He says, "No, but we can take a photo." Then he realizes that the whole time he was being recorded, and it's hella awkward.
Can you say hi to my friends?
No, but we can take a picture.
Oh, sorry.
Is that alright?
Yep. Thank you.
Well, that's a video.
This is just another very cringy fan celebrity encounter. So like I said, this video went viral because of how fast Malik shut the fan down. In the end, he did apologize and said, and I quote, "I am who I am and people can interpret that how they want, but I love the fans. I wouldn't be here without my fans, and I try to take as much time as possible. Sometimes when you've been traveling around the earth a couple times, you try to just be protective of your time as a human being, and I'm finding it quite funny, and I think maybe I'll have some fun with it on Ellen tomorrow." He told another outlet, and I quote, "I am happy to take photos with anyone, I just want to be aware of what people are doing in the moment. When someone films you automatically, it's a bit intrusive." And honestly, I totally get that, but the video is undeniably awkward. In our third spot today, we have Drake Bell. Earlier this year, it was revealed that Drake Bell groomed and took advantage of one of his young fans. The fan said that the two met when she was 12 and she was his biggest fan. The two would talk casually and she claims he would give her advice, and they maintained a friendship. When she turned 15, Drake's intentions changed and he started calling her hot. The two would exchange inappropriate messages and pictures. In 2017, they met up and she pleasured him. She continued on saying that he made her feel so loved so that he could manipulate her. Later, she realized that what they were doing was wrong, but she was scared to leave him. She felt trapped. As a result of this girl's statement, Drake was exposed for and his inappropriate behavior. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service after pleading guilty. In our second spot today, we have Adam Levine. According to a number of fans, Adam Levine, lead singer of Maroon 5, treats his fans pretty awful. Apparently, he has a habit of showing up late to his own concerts and performances, and one time, he even got mad at a crowd when they were just singing along to his songs. I mean, it's a concert, they're going to sing along. Nobody just stands silent and still at concerts. But that's not even the worst part. One fan said that one time she met Adam Levine and asked for his autograph. His response was, and I quote, "I don't give autographs to ugly chicks." That is absolutely disgusting. I can't believe it. And in our number one spot today, we have Sean Penn. So we got Tobey Maguire, who slammed a fan's camera to the floor, and now we have Sean Penn, who grabbed a fan's phone and smashed it to the ground. So back in 2013, Sean was in a fancy hotel in San Francisco when a fan took a picture of him on his phone, but the fan didn't realize that the flash was on. So Sean realized that someone took a photo of him and he flipped out. He then grabbed the fan's phone and slammed it to the ground. He then proceeded to yell at the fan, telling him to get out, and if he didn't, he would make the fan eat his phone. I mean, Sean has been known to come after paparazzi. Like, there's videos of him physically kicking them. But in this case, it was just a fan who probably is no longer a fan.